Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 21st March 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I am in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol TRSV nectar NECTAR nectar. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. In my vlog, in all my videos, we have been talking about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned from the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is only a continuation of what we have been doing in my previous videos. For the past few videos, we have been discussing about the four layers of material body that envelop the soul and bring it to the material universe, and the categories of these bodies and their vibrations and activities, etc. In that process, we are talking about the last layer of body, which is called the gross body. We know that this gross body acts according to messages transmitted by its brain to the gross body through vibrations of the subtle bodies, that is, the three subtle bodies of causal intelligence, astral mind, and etheric senses send vibrations which are received with the brain, then they are processed, queued upon, and the messages from the brain transmitted to the gross body. This is a continuous process which starts with the birth of an infant or a baby and ends with the death of the human living entity or any other living entity. Today, we shall continue our discussion about the gross body. This gross body is closest to the material universe, and hence the living entity, whether human or otherwise, is identified by this gross body of that particular living entity. As for example, if the gross body is a tree, or an animal, or a snake, or a reptile, an aquatic animal, a bird, or a human being with a particular name, that particular living entity is identified by that particular name of the gross body. In every birth, this soul changes its gross body and its identification, though the soul remains the same, and the subtle bodies of causal intelligence, astral mind, and etheric senses travel along with the soul, birth after birth, death after death. It is only this gross body that changes. Now, the among the subtle bodies, the closest to the gross body is called the etheric body of senses. Hence, almost 75 to 80% of our living entities spend 75 to 80% of their lives thinking about or acting according to our etheric senses vibrations which have been transmitted to us by our brain through the brain to the gross body. In other words, vibrations are being sent continuously by all the three subtle bodies, but the vibrations from the etheric senses, when they are taken by the brain of a living entity's gross body, it processes them faster and first chews upon them and then transmits them to the rest of the gross body, as a result of which 75 to 80% of humans spend 75 to 80% of their lifetime in a particular birth thinking about or reacting according to the vibrations from the etheric senses. Now, there are five types of etheric senses. They are sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Similarly, in the gross body, these five senses of the etheric body are represented by five sense organs that give an outlet to these senses. They are eyes, which are two in number, ears, which are again two in number, nostrils, which are two in number, one tongue, and the complete skin plus the genitals of that particular living entity. The two eyes are responsible for the sight, the two ears are responsible for the hearing, the two nostrils for smell, the tongue for taste, and the complete skin plus genitals are responsible for the touch side of etheric senses. Thus, vibrations from the etheric senses of the senses are taken by the brain of the living entity and then they are transmitted gradually to this brain of the gross body, which after processing them transmits it to the gross body and the living entity acts accordingly. You would appreciate that even in your case, you spend more time thinking about the messages from the etheric senses than the messages from the astral mind of emotions and feelings or causal intelligence of logic. The etheric senses come first in almost 80% of the cases. We shall discuss about this matter or we shall go forward in our discussion about this particular matter in my next video. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this subject. Please give me your expert opinions, thoughts, ideas, views, etc., so that we may blend everything together for the sake of the society and for its benefit. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback, and that I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Before we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.